Hello students, I am sure you all are safe and healthy at home. I am Nazia Siddiqui, your science teacher, so I am connecting you all with my online classes. I hope you all will learn from this class. So let's start this chapter, microorganisms. So the first question that comes in our mind is, what is microorganism? The smallest organism that are not visible to the naked eye and can be seen only through a microscope are known as microbes or microorganism. As the name suggests, micro means very small, that we cannot see with our naked eye. We have to use electron microscope to see these organisms. Now the study of microbe is called microbiology, and the person who studies microbiology is known as microbiologist. What are the major groups of microorganisms? They are bacteria, algae, protozoa, fungi and virus. So out of these, virus is different from it is different from other microorganisms as they are not made up of cells and they reproduce only inside a living cell of the host. They act as a connecting link between the living and the non-living world. Now we will study about the microorganisms which I have mentioned here one by one. First, study about bacteria. Bacteria are a type of biological cell. They constitute a large domain of prokaryotic microorganisms, typically a few micrometers in length. Bacteria have a number of shapes ranging from spheres to rods and spirals. Bacteria were among the first life forms to appear on Earth and are present in most of its habitats. But here, some beneficial for us and some are harmful for us. So now let's study about them. There are many bacteria which are beneficial to us. A few of the benefits derived from various bacteria are discussed below. Out of this, first is nitrogen fixation. So what is nitrogen fixation? A few bacteria have the ability to fix free nitrogen from the air and help in providing nutrition for plant growth. Some plants such as legumes harbor nitrogen fixing bacteria, rhizobium, in their root nodules. These can fix free nitrogen from the air and convert it into soluble nitrates, which are used by the plants to make proteins. Second use is decomposition of dead organism. Certain bacteria decompose organic matter such as dead leaves and animals and thus return carbon, nitrogen and other nutrients to the environment. Third is Third benefit of bacteria is formation of food product. So how they are helping us in forming the food product? You already know that the curd that we are using, this we are getting from a bacteria because lactobacillus, a bacteria, sours milk and it is used to make curd. Certain bacteria can easily break down the starch present in potato and corn to form organic acids such as lactic acid. Cheese that we are eating is manufactured by the action of bacteria on milk. So this way bacteria are helping in the formation of food product. Next point, treatment of sewage. Bacteria decompose sewage and other waste in water. A few aerobic bacteria such as Bacillus, Pseudomonas and Proteus, they are utilized for the secondary treatment of sewage. Now what are the industrial use of bacteria? Some bacteria help in tanning or processing of leather. Bacteria are also used in the jute industry. Here jute is submerged in water that contains bacteria. Next, digestion of food. So how these bacteria are helping in digestion? Certain bacteria, they reside in the intestine of ruminants such as cows, sheep and goats. These bacteria help these animals to digest grass and plants by breaking down cellulose. So in the absence of these bacteria, these ruminants cannot digest grass, which is their staple food. Now how they are helping in formation of medicines? Bacteria are also used to make special medicines called antibiotics, which are used to kill or stop the growth of other microbes. A few examples of these are streptomycin and gramicidin. So these are some medicines that we are getting from the bacteria. Now let's see harmful for us. We have studied the beneficial aspects of many bacteria in our life. However, some of them are also harmful for us. Like they cause diseases. Many bacteria act as pathogens and they cause certain diseases in human beings, plants and animals. So what are let me name some diseases that are caused by these bacteria. They are tuberculosis, cholera, typhoid, diphtheria, whooping cough, and anthrax in human beings. A few bacteria, they cause diseases in plants, example citrus canker, leaf blight of wheat, etc. Now, why they are responsible for spoilage of food? Presence of bacteria often result in the spoilage of food. For example, souring of milk, spoilage of meat, and rotting of fruits and vegetables occur due to bacterial action. So now you can understand how harmful they are for us. Contamination of water. While a few bacteria, as I told you, that they are helping in making water pollution free, because they are helping in the secondary treatment of sewage, but others, some bacteria, they can contaminate water also, and drinking that contaminated water can make a person. These are the harmful effects of bacteria. Now let's see about next major group of microorganism, that is fungi. A fungus, plural fungi or fungosus, is any member of the group of eukaryotic organisms that include microorganisms such as yeast and molds, as well as a more familiar mushroom. You all know about mushroom. It is also part of fungi. These organisms are classified as a kingdom which is separate from the other eukaryotic life kingdom of plants and animals. Actually, fungi are plant-like organisms. Their cells have a cell wall also, but there is no chlorophyll present in them. Thus, they cannot perform the process of photosynthesis. Fungi, they feed on dead and decaying organic matter by secreting enzymes and then absorbing the soluble products from these organism, and this type of mode of nutrition, we already know that it is called saprophytic mode of nutrition. In your daily life, you must have observed that velvety blue-green patches on the surface of rotting fruits, or the whitish gray thread-like outgrowths on stale bread, old pickles or jam. What are these? These patches, actually they are made up of different kind of fungi. Now, what are the different types of fungi? They are yeast, molds, mushrooms. Now, some fungi, they are very beneficial for us, some are harmful for us. But first, let's study about the beneficial fungi. Man has exploited some of the biochemical activities of fungi for its benefit. A few of them are described as follows. Formation of bakery products. Yeast is used in bakeries to make bread and cakes. During the process, yeast with a little sugar and warm water is mixed with flour and kept in warm places. The presence of sugar and warmth stimulates rapid growth of the yeast cell. Sometimes we are using yeast powder to make cakes, pastries and all. So that is yeast, and that is included in the kingdom fungi. So they are beneficial for us. Now, formation of fermented food products. You all like idli, dosa and all. So in that, what we use? Actually, yeast is also used to make other food items such as idli, dosa, etc. Before making these items, a mixture of ground rice and the dal is allowed to stand in warm condition. So why your mother is keeping the dal and rice in the warm condition for some hours? So that the yeast can develop into it and it will ferment the food product, and this will help us in making a soft spongy idli. I hope you all like it. Now, manufacturing of beverages. Yeast is used in industrial production of beer, wine and other beverages as they perform the process of fermentation. So wine is prepared, that is a drink, and wine is prepared by the fermentation of grapes, and beer is prepared by the fermentation of germinating barley. Now, the other benefit of fungi is food items. It is also used in our food items. Certain fungi such as mushroom, yes, we all like mushroom. So, they are directly eaten as food. Now, how they are helping us in balancing the nature? Fungi have the ability to help in the recycling of nutrients, substances, minerals and gases. These minerals are used again by the plants, and thus the nutrients are recycled, maintaining a balance in nature. Actually, what the fungi do, they, along with some bacteria, they help in converting the dead tissues of plants and animals into simple substances, minerals and gases. These minerals can be used again by the plants. Now, preparation of medicine. Now, certain fungi, they are utilized for preparing antibiotics. The Chinese are well known to have used a moldy soya bean curd for treatment of boils and for controlling food spoilage. However, the most important discovery in modern times was the production of penicillin from a fungus Penicillium notatum. So these are the benefits of fungi. About the harmful fungi. First is some fungi damage and spoil food products, leather, paper, textile and paint. Fruit juices often get spoiled due to fermentation by yeast. Now, spoilage of food and other useful items. Some fungi damage and spoil food products, leather, as I told you. Now, what are the diseases that are caused by fungi? Many fungi, they are harmful and pathogenic to organism. The common fungal diseases in plants are black rust of wheat, smut of corn and blight of potato. In human beings, fungal diseases, they spread through contact like athlete foot and ringworm. These are actually the skin diseases, and in athlete's foot, what happened? It causes itching between the toes, and ringworm, it affects the skin. White patches appear on the skin. So these are the diseases that are caused by the fungi. So really they are harmful for us, but they are having some. Now let's study about the next major group of microorganism, that is protozoa. Protozoa, they are single cell organism. They come in many different shapes and sizes, ranging from an amoeba, which can change its shape to and paramecium with its fixed shape and complex structure. They live in a wide variety of moist habitats, including fresh water, marine environments and the soil. Protozoa are actually the animal-like unicellular organism. They don't have the cell wall. They are found in freshwater, sea or moist habitats. They can be found in ponds and pools, on animals and plants, or on decaying leaves, and in almost all the places they are found. The parasitic forms, they live on the bodies of other organisms and obtain food from them. In fact, protozoa are the most abundant living organism in the world, and it is a amazing fact that their size ranges from 2 to 200 micrometer. The common example of protozoa are amoeba, paramecium, euglena, plasmodium, entamoeba. Now, what are the benefits of protozoa? First is symbiotic existence. What is symbiosis? First, we have to understand this. Actually, symbiosis is mutual beneficial relationship. Means two organisms, they make mutual beneficial relationship between them, and they both get benefit from each other. So some protozoa, they live in the body of other organism in a mutually beneficial relationship called symbiosis. For example, Trichonympha, it is a protozoa that lives in the body of termites. Termites, you know, the termites that sometimes it happens in the in our houses, in the wood it happens, that we call Deemak. So for example, Trichonympha is a protozoa that lives, this is a protozoa, Trichonympha, it lives in the body of termite. What it do? It digests the cellulose present in the wood eaten by termites, and it convert it into soluble carbohydrates. Termites then use this soluble form of carbohydrate for their own growth. So what is happening here? They both are getting benefit from each other. Trichonympha, which is a protozoa, it is getting the cellulose from the body of the termite, and termites, they are utilizing the soluble form of carbohydrate for their own growth. Second is link in the food chain. Protozoa form an important link in the aquatic food chain. They feed on algae and are in return eaten up by the bigger animal. For example, zooplanktons are protozoa that feed on algae, and these zooplanktons, they are in turn eaten up by the fishes. So they are helping in maintaining the food chain in the aquatic environment, Now, treatment of waste and sewage. Protozoa feed on fungi and bacteria which decompose organic matter. Thus, protozoa constitute an important step in waste degradation. Now, as a study material, how it is beneficial for us? Protozoa are used as research material to study various biological functions such as cell division and reproduction. Now, let's study about protozoa. Many of the protozoa, they are harmful and cause a number of diseases in humans and other animals. Entamoeba histolytica causes amoebiasis characterized by abdominal pain and repeated motions. Trypanosoma causes dangerous disease called sleeping sickness in human beings, which is very common in African countries. Plasmodium, it is a common protozoa parasite that causes malaria. But you all will say that malaria is caused by a mosquito. Actually, malaria is caused by the protozoa, that is Plasmodium. And female Anopheles mosquito is the only carrier of that Plasmodium. So, the parasite is transmitted by the bite of the female Anopheles mosquito. So now you all have learned that Plasmodium, it is a protozoa which is causing the malaria in human beings, and in female Anopheles mosquito, it is transmitting the malarial parasite. Now, Leishmania, it is another protozoa that causes Kala Azar. So, all about today class. We will meet tomorrow now again, and the things that we have done in the class, just listen this video very carefully, because very soon you will get some questions which will be related to this chapter, and definitely you will get all the answers from my videos. So thank you.